Welcome back to the Anthony Lee Crypto channel. Guys, today we're going to dive into the altcoins. What I want to do is encourage you to take a look at this altcoin with an open mind, okay? I know what you want to hear. Everybody wants to hear that their coin is going to 50x, 100x. I get it. I want to hear that too, okay? But listen to me. I've been through 3 bull markets and I'm now in my 3rd bear market, okay? And I'm not saying I'm always correct, okay? But I know how these things go, okay? We're going to look at the coin from a technical standpoint. How many of you a few weeks ago, as your coin was going up 60, 70, 100%, was listening to the influencers telling you this time is different, super cycle, Bitcoin dominance is headed down, alt season is here, blah, 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 blah. And today your coin is probably down 50%, okay? Don't listen to the noise, okay? We're going to look from a technical standpoint, okay? I don't know about your fundamentals of your coin. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. We can't predict what may happen later, what partnerships may come in, what scandals may come up. We can't predict those types of things, but what we can predict and know for a fact are things like tokenomics, circulating supply, technical analysis. Those things don't change. So we can look at it from a technical standpoint and take a realistic approach to what this coin might do. If anything comes later, like some sort of hopium or some sort of deal or some sort of thing like that in the economy with your coin, where it gets worldwide mass adoption, great, that's a bonus. But be prepared for less, okay? Or be prepared for a more realistic target. The biggest mistake I made in my first cycle was listening to everyone else who said that my coin was going to 50, 60x. And as I sat here and watched it 10 and 15x, which was great, I didn't take profit because I was waiting on that 50x because I believed the narrative. And I wound up writing that coin all the way back down and round tripping it, right? I learned from that mistake. If you're not at least open-minded to hearing what a conservative approach would be, then you're only showing your inexperience in this market. So don't be inexperienced. If you are inexperienced, at least try to learn, okay? If I think your coin's going to 100x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 5x, I'm going to tell you that. If I think it's going to 0, I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to keep it real with you. I know I could get way more clicks by just coming in and shouting 100x, but that's not going to serve you anything good in the future. So let's take a realistic approach to these coins, and we'll see if we can figure out where a good bull market top is going to be. Let's take a look at the charts. Here we go. All right, y'all, taking a look at FLUX, FLUX. I'm on the weekly KuCoin chart. Now, I don't trade on KuCoin, but KuCoin does have the most history of FLUX. So taking a look at it on that chart. Now, guys, I don't own any FLUX yet. However, I'm calling this coin my dark horse for the next cycle. This coin has real potential. And I know I just gave a big spiel about fundamentals, so we're not going to dive into the fundamentals. And by fundamentals, I mean partnerships and possible deals that may come up. Those things may or may not play out. You can't bank on that. But part of the fundamentals is also what sector are you in? And this is in the sector of GPUs, which link to AI, okay? It competes with things like Akash and Nosana, small cap coins that can really fly and likely have extreme real world utility if AI continues to take off, which of course we expect that it will. So look out for this coin. Now, it is kind of fading. All coins are significantly down, 90+%. It is fading a little more than its competitors, Akash and Nosana, but it doesn't mean this thing can't absolutely rip. Let's take a look. In fact, I partly think that's what makes it a better deal, but that's for you to decide. So in December of 2021, FLUX set a price all-time high of 334 and a market cap all-time high of 747 million. Here's where it gets interesting, though. You had a circulating supply of 225 million. Come down into a bear market, and that was really kind of heading into a bear market also. But you come down into the bear market. Last cycle you come up, you set a cycle high of $1.73 with a $600 million market cap, okay? Here's why you didn't perform quite as well. One of the reasons is you had 346 million coins as opposed to 225 million coins. So you literally added about 50% to your circulating supply. That's called token dilution, or diluting the market through token unlocks. Looking at today, you sit at a price of about 5 cents with a $22 million market cap and 411 million coins. So you've added even more coins. By the estimated cycle top of next cycle, Q4 of 2029. Now, this may be a little different if you top a little before or a little after, but it's going to be close enough. 4-year cycle, you do the math. I know alts topped a little early, so maybe they top a little early this time. Close enough. FLUX will have a circulating supply of 440 million coins, okay? So that is adding almost 100%. So you've almost 2x'd your circulating supply from your price all-time high, which means if you just return to your market cap all-time high, because you'll have double the coins, price will be half as much, or roughly $1.65 or so, if you just match your all-time high market cap. Let's go look at that on the circulating supply chart. You can see since its inception, you've added a significant amount, but the bottom orange line is where coins were at your price all-time high, and then last cycle high, and then next cycle you'll be there. So a pretty significant increase. Yeah, right at 100%. So again, you'll have to do twice the market cap to reach that price all-time high of $3.34 again. Can it happen? Absolutely. These coins fly. Let's look at the market cap. So, matter of fact, you can see from the time it was released, and I know we don't really go by a release, but your release kind of dipped down, and from that low to your price all-time high, your market cap increased by almost 6,000%, which is massive. These coins can absolutely rip. But let's take a look at this. We want to fib. You can't fib your price. It cannot be done accurately because you have token dilution. You can only accurately run a fib on something on a macro scale if your coins are the same or a negligible difference. Doubling your coins is not a negligible difference, so a fib is not applicable here. However, market cap is linear, so you can fib market cap. And let's do that from a cycle 1 high to bear market low. You can see FLUX returned to approximately the 786 retracement level. Technically, it rejected the 702, but almost tapped the 786. Okay, let's fib it from that high to current bear market low market cap, and let's see what that gives us. Sorry about that, guys. All right. That gives us this fib right here. Now, let's assume you don't even perform as well. Let's assume you just kind of underperform this cycle. And maybe you go up to something like, I don't know, let's say you massively underperform and only return to the 382. That's about a $240 million market cap. Anything more than that is a bonus, okay? If you do get higher than that, that's just a bonus, right? But let's just, so that we don't sit here and wait on higher prices when in reality we're not going to get it, let's assume for the worst. Let's hope for the best and assume the worst, right? And if we go back, I'm going to give you a bull run price prediction for this coin. Price equals market cap divided by circulating supply. So if we wind up with a $240 million market cap at 440 million coins, that's going to give us a price of 55 cents. Now, if we throw on a value area range or volume profile of this entire life of the coin, you can see that's coming right in at the point of control. We're currently tapping off the value area low, so point of control return about 55 cents. Looks like a great target to me. I do think you're going to roll over here, especially if Bitcoin rolls over in Q4 or at any point in time this bear cycle. And I think you're going to take out this low here at about 4.5 cents, and you can bounce up from there, which can give you something around 4 cents can give you, well, let's put the calculator on that. 55 cents divided by 4 cents. It's going to give you about a 13, 14x multiplier there. So in my opinion, even if this thing does not perform as well as Nosana or AKT, market cap wise, getting yourself a 14x on a minimum performance. Again, this is just a minimum performance back to the 382. If you came all the way up to the 786, you'd be looking at $1 plus. And remember, you returned to the 786 last cycle on market cap. So if you did that again, you're going to be looking at $1 plus, which could be over a 20x multiplier on this coin. I'll tell you another thing that I really like about this coin. Unlike a lot of coins, if we zoom out and place Cypher on the chart, if you do come take this low one more time, look at the bullish divergence you're going to have here on the weekly. In fact, not only will you have one drive, you'll have multiple drives of bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. You can see that, a series of lower lows and lower highs. In price, and your cipher wave would look something like that. Most likely, you would have a triple drive of bullish divergence, which is really powerful. And if we continue to zoom out, you would see it on the 2-week time frame, and I believe even the 3-week time frame. Yes, so all the way up to the 3-week time frame on possible bullish divergence. Of course, it's unconfirmed as of now, but most coins don't have it. A lot of coins have it on the weekly, but not the 2-week or 3-week. So this could be a really powerful move. I think 55 cents is a realistic, if not extremely conservative target, especially given the narrative of this coin. It really wouldn't surprise me to see a full rotation all the way back up to the value area high of $1.15. And at a price of 4 to 5 cents, and to me, that's just an incredible opportunity. This is my dark horse coin. And if AI really booms, I mean, sky's the limit. I don't necessarily think you get back to all-time high, not with doubling your circulating supply, but it could happen. I think a 13x on this coin is a no-brainer, in my opinion. But you decide. You let me know in the comments down below. What are you looking for on this coin? What other coins are you interested in? I could shoot a video for you, though. For those, just drop them down. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing FLUX updates and other altcoin updates along the way. We would love to have you. I'll see you guys next time.